original banana that God created had seeds. Seeds that are bigger than orange seeds. The banana we eat today is an hybrid. That's why if you check your banana, you notice there is one small line with those tiny dots used to be big seeds. There is a high level of misinformation of what organic is in Nigeria. A lot of things that we consume are hybrid. We just do not know, because the marketers know that if we say these are hybrid, you'll be like, this is GMO, but it's not.
Today's video is incredible because today we'll be sharing the story of a young man who is actually changing the face of agriculture in Nigeria. Currently looking at the 300 acres of land where farmer Samson Ogbole is carrying out a soilless farming, which is also one of the biggest soilless farms in Nigeria.
When we say soilless farming, this is essentially growing crops without the use of soil. I'm farmer Samson Ogbole, team lead Soilless Farm Lab. A lot of people will probably be wondering, can plants grow without soil? In reality, soil has three functions. Number one is to anchor the roots of the plant. Number two is for water retention. Number three is for aeration purpose. If you look at loamy soil can perform these three basic functions. Hence, loamy soil is the choice of growing plants, or the choice of medium when it comes to growing plants. If I am going to talk about soilless farming, it is finding anything that can replace loamy soil. So once I remove loamy soil and I bring in any kind of medium that is not loamy soil, automatically I am doing soilless farming. So that is essentially what we do at Soilless Farm Lab, using greenhouse technology and soilless farming to produce food, vegetable foods, year-round for our consumers. If you look at this is not soil, and somebody may be thinking, is that not soil they are using? This is coconut and rice shaft mixed together. If it were soil, you need to be staying in my palm. So this is coconut and rice shaft mixed together for planting. Then this is connected to the tank outside. That is where the nutrient is mixed, the salt I talked about earlier. And once you turn it on, the water flows from here. Each of these has a hole at the bottom. There are holes at the bottom where the water coming from the tank is able to go down all the way to the last layer. So this is what soilless farming is in simple terms. This is oak leaf red lettuce. For those that do not know what this is parsley. This is parsley. I'm going to see if we have another one. This is mint. So that's what you have here. In other parts of the farm, you will see bell peppers, tomatoes, lettuce, that's oak leaf green, and other crops. This is basically a net house. So you could have a net house, a screen house, or a greenhouse. Earlier, I said the whole idea is, what do I want to control? So for these, we just want to control insects coming in and eating up the leaves. So because of that, we have an insect net. We have no issue with rain. So that's why what you have at the top is still a net that water can come in. But in dry season, the sun here can be so harsh. Hence, it's a shade net that reduces the amount of sunlight that comes into what is favorable for the plants. Please, we have this taste capacity for 2,000 plants. And if we like, we can decide to still go higher. Okay, this is arugula. So we can decide to go higher because this is where we chose to stop. But I can still go higher and use more space. And if I want, you notice there are big spaces in between. If I choose to, I can put more, which means if I just go by putting things in between, I can go from 2,000 to 4,000 plants in this place. If I decide to go times 2, I can go to 8,000 plants in this place. This is bok choy. In a farm like this, if you have this, remember I said that here alone we have 2,000. So if that's lettuce, that's 2,000 heads of lettuce. But if you want to harvest, the way the farm is structured is, I must sell something every week. So we will stagger it to have 500 from here every week. So that week 1, 500, because things like lettuce, bok choy, and all takes a month. So you want to stagger because your customer will not eat 1 week and not eat for another 3 weeks. You want to ensure that you always have something available for them to buy. This is a storage facility. Okay. So I just wanted to have an idea of the different parts of the farm. Now, this storage facility, if you notice, this does not require electricity. Instead, we use charcoal and water. It's like a fridge. So why do we have a charcoal storage facility? Not all our customers that we sell to have a cooling chiller or something in their store or kitchen for whatever we are giving them. So when produce are harvested, rather than keep it in our cold storage, which you will still get to see, we can bring it here. This is like them keeping it in their own open space. And this produce can be here for 15 days. Nothing is going to happen to them. They will still be fine. Now, when we harvest tomatoes, we don't harvest at full ripe. We usually would harvest at 70% ripe and keep. That way, whenever the customer gets it, they still experience the hardness. So if the customer wants their tomatoes to get ripe overnight, all they need to do is get one ripe tomatoes and throw in their mist. And overnight, because of the release of ethylene from that single ripe tomatoes, every other thing becomes ripe overnight. So that is for this. I'm taking you around to see any produce that we don't send out is turned into compost here. So this is the composting area. You use it as manure back on the farm. So this is another sorting room, just like where we are coming from. Ideally, we would have one shoe cover, but no produce in here. So of course, you've seen where the pawpaws are coming from. So we have pawpaws. So here is again for more sorting. So after sorting, like I explained, let me turn on the cold room. If anything is not going out today, there is a cold room where they can store. So if it is turned on, this is a cold room. Again, like another big fridge where the produce can be stored. So this, we have 2 sets of cold room. The total cold room we have is about 37-ton capacity. So if there are produce that will not go out that same day, but the person we are supplying to has a place to store, we keep them here. Our ideal supply days are Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, a bit on Thursday. But I guess they just got a new customer that is asking for produce today. If not, today is supposed to be the day they get to rest. Well done. So these are people, part of our past graduates coming from the farm. This is where they do quality assurance to say, is this really okay? Because there they are sorting, so before it goes to the customer, it's meant to come here. But now that they are not busy, that's why you have seen one of the ladies, Miss Ruth, going down there, going to check the quality there before they load it out. So this is a place for quality assurance and all. Then there are some customers that we supply to that we say, oh, can I get some things in powder? Maybe can I get the pepper, some of it as powder? If they want powder, this is for turning anything to dry. You can dry, blend, and send to the customer. All our equipment have a quality assurance company they all work with. There are the kind of customers we sell to that can sue us for giving them substandard. So they need to come and check. So if they should come and say, oh, discard this weighing balance, we must discard.
So it's not like you just do the quality assurance all by yourself.
No.
So even the equipment, you have to get a third party
to come and validate, to say, okay, this is actually okay, the van is okay, this is good. So if they come and say, no, do this, we must comply. This part is just to store things. Remember I said we buy things that we need for the year. Yes. So the containers are just to store the materials we need for the year. So that if we open them now, you notice that most of the things have been depleted because, we are in September coming to October. So we just have 3 months for the year to be over. By December, new set of materials will come. We start filling it up again. So then on this side, we call this area demo farms. So the demo farm is somebody may come and say, oh, test my seeds, test my nutrients, test my whatever we want to test. We come here and test it first. So in the demo farm, the first thought of production is not for the market. So the first point is, can this thing work the way this person is saying it will work? This person has said, this thing, when you plant it, it will give us, it has this nutrient, it has this. We have a demonstration farm where we test it out first. So as we test, we are now able to compare with what we have been getting before to say, okay, what this person said, is it true? Is it working like they said? We take a lot of data, we take a lot of Yeah, information from the plant. How are they growing? How much nutrient? Are they fighting diseases? Are they resistant to diseases? We do a lot of that, so that's why we call it demo farms. So in here, we don't just do soilless. At times we put the plant in soil to say, okay, let's see how you will come out. The owner, the person that is telling you to buy your seed or buy their seed, has spoken so much about how good you are. Let's put you in a bad environment. So for example, this is aubergine. I'll show you, I'll compare this to another aubergine. You will see the difference between this person's seed and another person's seed. The only thing I will not do is to call their names. So you see the way the plants are looking. There are a bit of inability to combat some diseases. So I'm going to show you another person's seed that also brought their seed that we are testing. Then you will now see that there is a difference in the result.
Right now, you're actually testing this on the soil.
Yes. So why are we testing on the soil? Because when you plant soilless, most diseases are soil-borne. So we are not able to validate your claim, because it's like keeping a child in a well-protected environment and you say the child does not fall sick easily. How do we know? Let's put the child where diseases are. Let's now see how good is your seed. Because if it does wonderfully well here, when we take it soilless, it's going to perform miracles.
The seeds, how do you, can individual just bring in their own seeds and all of that?
Yes, any company that has seeds to sell, as long as they're a registered company, we will buy their seeds. This is another one from another one.
Different one from different
Yes.
from that one.
The same species, but a different company selling the seeds. So a different maker. So you can see that and these are same age. These ones are not showing as much symptoms as that. Same soil. These ones are already flowering.
Was it planted the same time?
The same time. Those are not flowering yet.
Wow.
So if as a commercial farmer I go and buy that and use a lot of that, somebody else bought this, when this one has started making money,
You still be struggling.
you are still waiting, thinking it's village people. Meanwhile, it's the seed. Nothing is wrong. But again, we don't judge at this. I will still show you a third one. We don't judge at this level yet. Because it is possible, we don't know, it is possible that this one that flowered early, when we start harvesting, that the amount of fruit we get from this is not as much as what we will get from the one that didn't start early.
Okay, so you also check.
No, we are going to wait until the end. How much output did we get? How long did it take the plant before it died? How much stress? And it's a whole lot of things.
And so you all keep keeping all of those data.
We keep keeping the data. So by the time we are done, the chief agronomist will now draw out a, uses Excel sheet to bring all of this data. We now all sit down with the agronomist and the operations team to say, is this okay? Procurement, see this. For procurement for 2024, because our seeds per year that we spend on seed, if I'm not wrong, is over 200 or 300 million naira seeds to run the whole year. So if a company is fighting to get that contract, we need to do our paperwork properly, because once we buy the wrong seeds, we have exhausted the budget for seed for that year. So it means we have to carry the burden till the following year.
Since this is like testing, do you actually get it from the company for free to test?
No, some companies will tell you, it depends on the company.
Okay.
So there are, like all these ones now, these companies gave us for free.
Okay.
There are instances where the company tells you to buy a little. So it varies. It's not one cap fits all. So companies that will tell you to buy are companies that are like super established. They are not the one looking for you. You probably heard about their seed and you're like, Baba, I need to test your seed. So many a time, the seed may be good for a different climate, not where we are.
Okay. So just last question before we leave here. Organic is very important to us as Nigerians. I know GMO is everywhere. However, how do you know the difference between what you are buying is organic and not GMO?
So we don't buy organic, we don't buy GMO, we buy hybrid.
Okay, so there are three types of seeds.
Yes.
Now.
So hybrid is, let me explain what hybrid is. You know people that rear dog. I'm not really a dog fan, so I don't know their different names. But the person will say, I carry this dog to go and cross with this other dog. The child they give birth to is an hybrid. So hybrid is essentially, I went to your house, I saw an orange that is big.
Okay.
In my other neighbor's house, but it is big but not sweet. Okay. In my other neighbor's house, it is sweet but not big. So I now say, okay, can I have a cross between these two for my house? To have an orange that is sweet and big. That is hybrid. Now, for hybrid, this is not mago-mago inside lab. Our forefathers even used to do it. Where when you are growing yam or something, you look at the one that gave the best result. You save it for your next planting. Why did they give the best result? At that point, when that plant was growing, it mixed with other plants, meaning the flowers fertilized each other to come out with a better variety. So why do we go for hybrid? When you are buying an hybrid seed, they tell you the qualities to expect. Okay, maybe these fruits. So let me give you an example. There is a tomatoes we don't have it at the moment. It has exhausted for the year till next year, called beef stick. For beef stick, there are customers that want one tomato to weigh 200 to 250, 300 grams. Not every tomato seed can give you that gram of beef stick. So when we are buying, we now need to check what is the expected weight per tomatoes for this seed. Is this what we want? Another example is I am growing bell pepper and maybe I am having aphid or mite issue. I am going to look for a seed that has been built to be resistant to that thing, so that the work I have to do is reduced. Then another way to understand hybrid, which most people don't know, I know most people find this strange, the original banana that God created had seeds. Seeds that are bigger than orange seeds. The banana we eat today is an hybrid.
Oh, really?
Yes. The plantain is an hybrid. That's why if you check your banana, you notice there is one small line with
yes.
Those tiny, tiny dots used to be big seeds.
My God. So they are no longer in existence.
Those big ones. Yes. That's why people will now say bush banana. When you go to the inside thick forest and you see bush banana, you cut it open, you will see the big seed. Those ones that have not been worked on. I say that because a lot of things that we consume are hybrid. We just do not know, because the marketers know that if we say these are hybrid, you'll be like, this is GMO, but it's not.
So how do you really differentiate GMO? That's my view.
The sellers will tell you. You are not going to see it.
The sellers conceal and
no, the law says they are meant to tell you what it is. It's just like now you are asking me, I'm telling you I'm using what? Hybrid. I'm supposed to be the one to, because you are not going to know how by the way the fruit looks. I've seen a lot of funny documents online where people say, oh, you can identify a plant by if it is very fresh. No, it doesn't show anything. If it is very fresh, maybe it was built, okay, take for instance, see this, we'll still see more, see this aubergine, how fine it is looking. Yes. It doesn't show anything. Why is there no dot on it? Because there is a net, house insect don't peck on it. If I remove the net and insect should peck on it, it is still hybrid, but it will have dot. It does. You now say, oh, because there is dot, it is now organic. No. And of course, there is a high level of misinformation of what organic is in Nigeria. A high level. So compare that to this. Still same age. Yes.
Wow.
Now, same age and everything. What is the difference? It's not like that is bad and this is better. So what they simply did was, I can't remember how they shared it. It is still soil that we are using here. Okay. But you know, in that place, the soil we are using is not in a covered container like this. Okay. So which means every time they put nutrients, some of them will seep out. In this case, when they put nutrients, the nutrient remains for the plant. Okay. It's not running away. So the difference between what we are getting here and what we are getting there is, here there is nutrient use maximization, unlike there. So now we know that, okay, those ones there can perform as this good if they are in an enclosed environment. Okay. What will now happen when we remove the soil? They will perform way better.
So this and the second one is the same seed?
It's the same seed.
So it's the same seed, but it's different from the first one?
It's different from the first one.
So what you've done now, you've done 2 testing already for this seed.
Exactly, to see
using the soil and then enclosing this soil.
The soil to see, okay, how well would you perform in an enclosed space. You can see how all the fruits are, and they've started harvesting here already.
Wow.
They started harvesting. You can see how the way the whole fruits look like. So. So here they are pruning.
Okay.
So if you look at this, here we have mint, then we have cherry tomatoes. The reason you're having this on the ground is they are pruning. So pruning is we are cutting off the excess leaves that we no longer need so that the cherry tomatoes can start fruiting quick. So we are just trying to maximize space. That's why we have mint on one side, cherry on another side on the same trough. Now, when it comes to organic, like I said, a lot of people do not even understand what organic is.
Maybe can we...
Okay. There is a big misconception about organic. Okay. Big misconception. And in Nigeria, or not even in Nigeria, worldwide, there are 3 definitions of organic. Unfortunately, these 3 definitions are not interchangeable. So I need to decide which of these definitions do I want to stick with when I describe that I am doing organic. The first definition of organic talks about the fact that my method of farming is not harming the environment. Instead, it protects and restores the environment. That's why you realize that in developed nations, they will tell you if you are doing organic, you cannot use tractor. Why can't you use tractor? The tractor is destroying the soil on one part. The tractor is releasing carbon monoxide, that carbon monoxide will react with water to form bicarbonate acid as acidic rain that destroys the environment. So I need to start asking myself, is my method of farming protecting and helping the environment or not? If the answer is it is not helping the environment, based on that definition, I am not doing organic. That is pillar 1. I now say, okay, no, I don't want to go with that. Let me go to number 2, input supply, meaning the kind of things that I feed my plants or my animals, where am I getting it from? If I am getting it from a natural source, it is organic. If I am getting it from a source that is not created by nature, it is inorganic. This is where most people like to stay and say, we are organic or you are not organic.
So basically fertilizer.
Exactly.
Okay.
Now, the third level, now you see that part of even saying, because I hear people say things like, so if I use manure, I am organic. And I laugh, I say, what was the animal fed? If the animal you got the manure from was fed from maize that was grown with fertilizer, you are still back to deceiving yourself. Then the third one, which for me is the one I love the most, or the one I think I accept the most, is what they call input deposit. Meaning, after you have applied these things, what remains deposited in the plant or animal? Because if I tell you, for example, oh, this my mint leaf here is organic, how would you prove it? You will take it to the lab.
Yes.
Abi? When you get to the lab and you are testing, what are you testing in the plant? What is deposited? So if I test, there is a range for what is deposited for organic. There is a range for what is deposited for inorganic, and then there is a range for what is deposited for not fit for consumption. So you realize that when I take this to the lab, it is what is deposited that validates whether this is organic or not. So when we say organic, we need to first ask ourselves, what definition do we want to work with? For me, the best and most scientific definition of all is the input deposit. Number 2 can be the environmental protection. The last is input. How did you get your input? Because at the end of the day, the reality is the fact that I am using manure to feed my plant does not necessarily mean the plant is healthy. There are many other things. What if I overuse the manure? What if I overuse the neem oil to spray? What if I overuse a whole lot of other things? The plant is just like saying Panadol is healthy, but that does not mean I should go and take a whole bucket load of Panadol. Of course, that will be my last headache. If that answers that. This is watermelon being tested. So we have another person who is telling us that their seed is super good, and like the best that we have ever seen according to them. So we have chosen not to argue with them. You notice this is, we just started planting here. As more of their plants come, we want to plant some outside, some inside to compare. If their plants can do well outside as they promised, we know when we take it inside, it will be numero uno. So all of this to this house is to run an experiment.
So you just done two types now, outside
and inside. So for the outside also, some of them will have a mulching film like this. So what the mulching film does is you never need to worry about weeding, because it's only where you put hole that plant will come out from. So that's the lab. But like I said, it's still where the stand the door, that's the door in.
So once this is completed, you start running in-house.
In-house test. That doesn't stop the external test, because the external test validates your internal test. So it's not like, oh, once you do this, it's not a substitute. It's just that now we can do it frequently without being worried about the cost.
You formed your decision to make sure your techs run your seats in the lab at least. Is it because you want to build a quality or?
So for us, number one is all of us on the farm. I mean, you can see that we all live here. We eat this thing. Why do I want to poison myself? First is my parents eat it. We eat these things. Why poison myself? Number two is we cannot correct things by waiting on people to do things right. We need to start setting an example. And obviously, when people realize that because your product are the quality, you are earning more, hopefully they would want to join. Okay, so you see. Okay.
So this is how it's leveled.
It can get to the top. So it's not, it doesn't have to be, so it is based on what is going out.
Okay.
So the reason.
Then when you on the car, the AC will start working.
Yes.
Okay. And this AC that is working is not harmful to the.
No.
It's just to cool it.
It's just, so if this is harmful, it's the equivalent of asking the fridge in my house.
So it picks.
Yes. So that's just
so
it.
That with this now, you can actually transport your goods for 3 days and
Anywhere you want to.
it
It won't get spoiled, no. Relaxation spot. When partners and students are back fully, they can come here. Then at the back there, you see some buildings coming up. We are building short-let apartment because we have people who visit and say, oh, they would have loved to spend the night if there was a place. So we figured, okay, let's do a 28-room apartment.
How long would that take to get ready?
No, this should be ready. The first batch, they're already putting windows and plastering, not sellotaping. In another 2 weeks, that should be ready. For
that way, any tourist, anybody that is interested in agro-tourism
can visit, spend the night, return. We have a kitchen, and I already told you, we have a market. I'm sure Grace and whomever it is that will take you around will take you around all of that. We have a market that works 6 out of 7 days in a week. The 7 days a bit skeletal. So the market is run basically by the locals. And part of the students who we've trained that have graduated have figured we could also do something by the side. So we have a market, we have a church, we have a mosque, there is a sports facility, and and hostels, of course, for partners. But we also have a health center. Land is 300 acres. We are still working on increasing the size of the land, but we are sitting on 300 acres at the moment.
300 acres.
Yes.
Okay. So in terms of investment, when somebody wants to come in to invest, do you have an opportunity?
No, right now we are not running. We don't have any investment opportunity. However, instead, what we have people do is, because we have a lot of people that we have trained, you can pull your funds together, open your farm, and have them help you manage your farm. They are good enough to help you do that.
Okay, so I can open my farm with you here.
Yeah, so you can buy land around, so that
outside of your 300 acres.
Outside of the 300 acres, you can buy your land, set up. I'm sure when you were coming in, you would have seen a company that is setting up near the palm tree, called them Green Pots. So they bought land here because we are here. And right now they are setting up greenhouses. Those who we trained here on how to set up are the people setting up there for them, and they are going to help them to co-manage, and their own vision also is to train others and have more greenhouses there. So they have an investment package that you are asking for. There are people that I trust and all of that. Part of the head of their production team. So they are running an investment package, trusted, and they are also backed by the government of the Netherlands.
Okay. But besides that, let's say a Nigerian outside who've been looking to bring in his money, let's say maybe you have $100 million or you have $50 million, he wants to partner with you, basically.
No, that's what I'm saying. They should rather partner
with them.
Green Pots.
Okay.
So when they partner with Green Pots, Green Pots have a top board of directors, management, and all of that to run that for them. I am still a part of Green Pots in the part of production and technical and all of that. So yes.
So basically, but your farm right now,
No.
that's not open.
No. Yes.
In a realistic term, I know this is a business, and well, how profitable is this model of farming?
It's
Because
very
your model is
profitable.
different.
Yeah, it's very profitable. This is one of the bigger the models they run in Italy, US, UK, a lot. If you look at the chicken market in the US, for example, you realize that what the major brands, I don't want to call any company's name, but what the major brands essentially do is they take the, what's it called, DO chicks, DOC, and the whole of the nutrient. They look for people who are willing to help them raise. They raise the birds and all for them. They come back and buy back. That is the standard in the world. But you realize that in Nigeria, everybody wants to be the A to Z of their company, and that does not work. In agric, you need a lot of, what's the word now? You need a lot of people benefiting from the value chain for you to actually make it. It's not about you trying to run everything. So there should be somebody whose job is just to run the nursery because they are good in nursery. There should be somebody whose job is just to run the farm, somebody whose job is just to run the logistics, somebody whose job is just to fight for the market. At the end of the day, if everybody does what they are meant to do, when the eventual person at the end sells that product, the money now trickles down through everybody, so that everybody stays at the point where they themselves are a specialist. Not that I am. So let me give you an example. A lot of people find it strange when I say it, that as a farmer, I am not very good at doing nursery. These nurseries, that I'm not very good at that. So why would I want to run a farm and run a nursery myself? Because what that simply means is where I am not good, I'll be wasting money. So why not focus on where I am good? That's just the model. And it becomes profitable because we are putting people who are good at a point to run that point. Not one person trying to be alpha and omega.
What are the few words you have to encourage young people out there who, we know that our country is going through a turbulent time. Many people have decided to go into wrong vices, kidnapping and all of that. But that's not what we want. We want a country that is safe for everybody. What are the encouragements you have for young people? And if it's okay, I know in Nigeria we don't tell our age, but if it's okay to you to tell your age, you can also say your age so that people know you're a young person, you're doing this, and you want to encourage other young people not to go into armed robbery, but to choose a path that is honorable and also profitable.
Yeah, so I would, I'm 41 years. And for any young person that is watching this, I would say, go get a job. Go get, not even a job, go and put your hands to work. Find work. Work does not have to be glamorous. It does not have to be beautiful, but you should not be idle. If you look at the scripture, the Bible talks about the fact that there was work before sin. God blessed man, told him be fruitful, multiply, and all of that. So there was work before sin. Two, we also need to understand that the concept of work that was given to us is Adam was not working to try to make it in life. Adam was not working to buy a house. So the concept of work is obedience to God, not about what we can get out of it. So find work and do. The reason why a lot of Nigerians go abroad and make it easily is because when they get abroad, whatever they find to do, they do. But when they are here, there is pride. How would they say a homie is sweeping the street? How would they say a homie is hawking something? Whatever you can find to do, do it. Start from somewhere. Start from doing something. It is not okay to say you are jobless or you have no work. It is okay if nobody gave you a paid employment, but find something to do, whatever it is. And at the end of the day, it will pay off one way or the other. Like I always say, I tell my young people this, I say, if one person can make it in Nigeria and you don't make it, Nigeria is not the problem. Because if Nigeria were the problem, none of us will make it. So the fact that one person can make it means that the problem has left Nigeria. It has become your personal problem, because the issues we complain about in Nigeria is not peculiar to you. There is no power. We don't have power. There is no water. The same thing. Oh, diesel price has gone up. The same thing. Fuel price has gone up. The same thing. No good road. It's the same for everybody. But we chose to make it regardless of the reality of the country. So you're making it is your job, and the first thing you need to do is to go find something doing. Even if it means working for free, just not to be idle. Start from somewhere. I always tell my guys, the first key to making it is accept the shame. Accept the reality of where you are, the reality of what you are able to do. So all these things of, oh, you are using an iPhone 15, but you have no job. Why? Because what you could have used for an investment in yourself is what you are carrying around, and you are saying you are broke. What you lack is wisdom. So find work, find something doing, Once you start doing that and be consistent, give it your all, at the end of the day, a better opportunity will come along.
In our next video, there's even something more incredible that he's doing. That is, he's training about 4,000 young people on farming.
But that's it on this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, be a part of this community. For those of you who are part of this community, thank you so much for supporting me. Share this video, comment, subscribe, and like. See you guys next time.